Welcome Libra and Libra cross watchers to your singles and new love reading for January 2023. I'm sorry it's so late this month. Oh, okay. Sorry. So we'll have where you are, what's holding you back, what to let go of to release that block, and then what's coming up for you and what you have to look forward to. And then we'll do from this deck the next love interests, good or bad for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden out of breath. So anyway, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I hope you guys have all had a great week and that you're looking forward to a good weekend. It feels here like you're actually wanting to, I feel like you're up against a group of some sorts. It feels like, and this may be specific, so I'll let you know ahead of time. I feel like you're in a position where it's like you seem to be against a group. And I feel like, not necessarily that they're coming for you or anything, but I feel like you feel very defensive towards this group of people. And it's not like, oh, you want to join their group or something. It's, you see them as duplicitous, kind of like troublemakers, relatively harmless, but it's like you don't quite know what they'll do, or I want to say what they know, what they're capable of here, or what they're planning. So I feel like you actually are quite defensive towards them. I do feel to a certain extent that you seem to be, bear with me for a second. There seems to be something kind of magnificent about them. It's like you almost get to a point where you admire them and then you remember all of the like seedy behavior from them. And it's like, and you come back down from having any kind of admiration for them at all. It's almost like these people maybe, this is just the energetics of it, right? It could be that, maybe you are a fan of sports and they're the star players on the team that you like or something like that. Not, maybe not team that you like, but the team from your school or something of that nature. But anyway, I feel like you see them as bringers of chaos. And I do feel to a certain extent that there may be people that think that you're being really cold or that you're being a bit of a bitch or whatever. It doesn't really seem like you could care any less. And I feel to a certain extent that you're looking at it like if people think that about you because of how you're handling yourself, it's almost like, well, then good, because it means those people aren't going to bother you. And, ooh, okay. One more message and then I promise I'll move on. I actually feel here with this combination that, I would certainly hope so. If this is all a past energy, these people are in your past. I feel like you are very defensive towards this happening again with a different group of people. And I do feel to a certain extent that you are, it's like you may feel like you're just being discerning with who's coming into your life and who's not. But I actually feel like you, the energy that you're giving off isn't, I'm going to be discerning or like, you're giving off a very strong, get out of my space, get back sort of vibe. I feel like you may not realize how strong that energy is coming across. So it's like, people may kind of misinterpret where you're at when it comes to other people. I do feel for some of you that you might not be open to any connections right now. What's holding you back is the Ace of Cups. I feel like for you, the start of something new is, It's like you've got that sword ready and you're just ready to swing at the first sign of any kind of toxicity, which, I mean, of course, we should all be vigilant. It does feel that, and I feel like you may know this already, Libra. So I'm going to ask you instead of saying something. Is it possible that when you are holding up this sword, when it comes to new love, that not only are you ready to swing it at the first sign of something going south, is it possible that you're looking for a reason to get out of it? Because I feel it's almost like you may have been conditioned, or you may be feeling some societal pressure that you should be in a relationship, that you should be doing this. You know, some people will pressure others to, you know, if somebody says that they don't want to have kids, sometimes they'll get like a ton of societal pressure that they have to have children. And I feel like you're in that place when it comes to having a relationship. And I feel to a certain extent that you may not really want one right now. You know what I mean? I feel like you kind of want to put up some safeguards, or it's like you seem to want to build something around yourself a little bit more. May not be the actual situation, but it's almost the energetics of you want to put yourself in a position so that anyone that comes into your life, there's nothing you need from them. So that if they muck about and do something that they're not supposed to, that you can make a decision that you want to make rather than feeling like you have to stay in a certain position, or sorry, in a relationship with that person, because outside of that, it's like financially it would be impossible to live. You know what I mean? It's that kind of an energy. I don't feel like that's going to be the actual case for everybody. When it comes to like whether or not it's financial security or what have you, I just feel like you seem to want to have a little bit more built up in your castle here before anybody gets close to you. So it's a past wound for Libra to embrace, to let that go. Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, and then we have the Page of Swords and Judgment. Bear with me on this sentence that might be a bit garbled. Libra, I feel that you are being exceedingly hard on yourself, your past self. I feel like you almost seem to feel like you should have been able to cut through the BS. I feel to a certain extent, not really consciously, but it's like if you allow yourself to pay attention to the thoughts that are kind of coming naturally when it comes to this situation, I feel like you might see that there's this narrative that seems to have escaped your view, that it's almost like you're faulting yourself for something here that you had no control over. And I feel like you've definitely, you know, grown or matured, growed up. Wow, Beth. And I feel like you're in an energy where you feel like you owe it to yourself to stand really firm in these boundaries and not let anybody, it's like people may have taken advantage of your, I guess, like innocence, or not that you even had like an overly trusting nature. It just feels like people may have taken advantage of you not knowing. So I'm dancing around saying the word ignorance, because it's not ignorant in like you're being an ignorant jerk. It's ignorant in there were things that you just didn't know because you were younger. And it's like as you grow, as you have more experiences, you learn more. And so you've leveled up, right? You seem to have skipped over the Knight of Swords. But you definitely leveled up here. And I feel like you seem to feel like you owe it to yourself to know things that you don't know. You know what I mean? It's like you, is it possible that you're putting pressure on yourself to know more than you is reasonable for you to know right now? It's like you're putting these crazy, or what I'm seeing, okay? Feels like you're putting these really high expectations on yourself And I feel like part of you is like, okay, well, I'm gonna just set the bar high and I'm gonna reach it. And I feel like the other part of you, it feels um, like an automatic fail, because how could you possibly reach it? I actually feel that there seems to be somebody here that is annoyed that you didn't believe them, but I feel like they came in and they lied about something and you found out, and then they came in and told the truth about something, and now they're mad that you're not believing them when they tell the truth. And it's like, well, if you tell a lie first, you know what I mean? Like what would a reasonable person assume, right? Excuse me. I do feel to a certain extent that this person seems to see you as out of reach. And it's almost this energy of they're not going to come and fight you, not actually fight you, but it's like they're not going to go to war with you where you are right now because you're too out of reach. But they do seem to be, it's like in a video game when they have that character that's just kind of waiting and just doing this, right? um, and it's just kind of waiting for you to come down a level. And I feel like this person's in for a rude awakening if they think that's happening, because you're standing really firm where you are. Um, and it doesn't feel like you're feeling pressure to stay there, or that any of that person's energy. It's like they're trying to send energy your way, but it's not hitting you, right? Because you're out of it now. I do feel to a certain extent that they seem resentful that you left them behind. It's like they're trying to tell themselves that the maturity that you got, that like that they should have had it as well. And it's one of those things where I feel like you made choices in a direction that put you on a certain path. And I feel like they made different choices. And it's like each of you has to live with the consequences. And I do feel to a certain extent that this person seems to think that you have it easier than them, which you don't. But they seem to feel that you do because they see you as having more power than they do. So it actually feels like any of the, or if you are feeling any guilt about this situation, which I feel like it's like you aren't feeling that way, but there's almost this energy of you may not feel guilty. You feel like you just did right by yourself, but there's this kind of a little touch of an internal dialogue, a little seed of doubt here. And I feel like there's a message here that if you want to let all of this stuff go, let the guilt go. I'm not telling you what to do, of course, but it does seem like that I actually feel like in the process of letting that guilt go, you actually may feel really guilty for a little while. And it's almost like because you feel that like you should have done something sooner. And it's almost like you seem to feel if you let the guilt go sooner, you may have been able to reach out to this person and like help them along or something. Or it's like you would have been able to reach out to them in some way. And I feel like when you really think about it, you really just needed to make the choices that you made. And in order to do that, you needed to be a little more, I want to say, like you couldn't be fighting with somebody every step of the way. What's coming up for Libra? Hooray! I'm such a dork sometimes. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is like excellent card. The Wheel of Fortune is obviously about things turning in somebody's favor, but it also is about you. When the Wheel of Fortune turns, there's good fortune and there's bad fortune. And I feel like you'll be rewarded with the effort that you put in. I feel like you'll be happy with the result, but there are a couple of things where it's like the result that you get, I feel like that it matches the effort that you put out. And it's not that you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done this or I should have worked harder. It's kind of like you take that information that, you're not where you want to be with it. So you look at it, which I personally admire, as an opportunity for where you need to put more focus. You know what I mean? It's like hold on for a second. You see those places where you didn't get the result that you wanted. You still had progress, but it wasn't what you wanted. Hold on. So it's almost like you just use those as like little bookmarks for where you need to go back and kind of reevaluate and figure out if you want to put more energy into it, if it is that important. I feel like there's at least one. For some of you, it could be 3 things that are important that you'll be getting to. But I mean, nobody cares what I think. I really respect this energy because I feel like you're wanting to put more focus into those things, but you're not in a rush. You're not looking to, hurry things along because you want to build it steadily. It's like you want to build that wall, that house, brick by brick. And if you stack them up too high and don't give the concrete time to harden in between, you might run into more problems down the road, right? So it's like a slow and steady wins the race sort of energy. But it's not the advice, it's what you're doing. So the wheel is about to turn. Oh, hold on for a second. Just a minute here. It feels like, bear with me, there's something that may feel a little bit shocking to you, but it won't at first. It's almost like there's this thing that's going to start small and like you might not even notice. And it's like, it might it's like you can feel that something is starting to grow almost like in the ether. And as it grows, it's almost like you'll turn around one day and be like, holy crap, what's in like, and not in a negative way, not in a fear-based way. You're looking at something like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, those beans, Jack and the Beanstalk. It's that energy of you've got your back turned and the stock has shot up and you turn around and like, holy cow, what is this? And I actually feel like because you put the energy into certain things and then allowed it time to kind of come to fruition, it actually seemed, and you didn't kind of micromanage the growth, it actually seems to turn into something better than you could have hoped for. And I feel like you don't actually see it coming. And that makes me, and I feel like some of you are like a little bit hopeful that that's true, but are a little doubtful. And I'm actually really happy because I feel like when this happens, it's going to be obviously a pleasant surprise, but I feel like it's exactly what you needed. And what to look forward to for Libra. Oh, what to look forward to. Okay, so strange set of cards for what to look forward to. We have the Devil and the Three of Swords, which would normally be like toxicity and heartbreak. Don't worry. I actually feel with this combination here that it's like this person that may have a bit of a reputation as a heartbreaker, they may be somebody that is actually quite attractive to, they feel like they may be, attractive to a lot of people, but they're not to you. You know what I mean? It's like maybe they have the physical attributes that could be, connected to being very attractive, but you don't find them appealing at all. I feel like you're looking past their looks to their intentions and their, you know, the undercurrent that's coming off of them. And it's like you can feel that they have a strange, maybe it's a player energy. It could just be like someone that, you know, likes to cause dissent among the ranks, chaos, that sort of thing. I feel to a certain extent this person may be a bit of they like to be in control, but it's like they like to control people when this might sound strange. This person likes to be in control, but they don't like to have to take it. They prefer that people submit to them and give them control over their lives. And I feel like this person's going to keep trying to pull you in to do that. And you're going to see exactly what's going on here. You're going to see that it's like that this is here. I feel like if this Three of Swords wasn't here, you would still feel that something's off. So it doesn't feel like you'd go charging towards them or anything, or even let them near you. But I feel like with this Three of Swords that they definitely remind you of you know, someone that broke your heart in the past. And I feel like it's like you know that that's what this person is about the moment you meet them. You know what I mean? It's like there's just something about them that doesn't feel right. For those of you that are, you know, that you can kind of tap into people's energy, it's like the second their energy hits yours, it's like a shiver down your spine, but not in a fun, attractive-y kind of way, in a like, oh, you know what I mean? It's, instead of resting into that energy, it's kind of making you like, you know what I mean? Wanting to not be around it. I also feel that when it comes to this person, that it's like they seem to tell people exactly what they want to hear. They seem to be, it's like they'll tell you what they want or what they know you want to hear. And then when you come back and try to, you know, hold them to their word, it's like they're going to twist it and turn it and somehow make it your fault and da-da-da-da-da. And like, I kind of feel like this person isn't going to be able to touch you with a 10-foot clown pole. They want to, but I feel like they're going to see real quick that you're too strong for them to reach you. It's like they'll leave it as an open invitation, but you're not feeling it. It's like you would rather have your heart broken by the truth than be living in a beautiful lie. So, whoops, the next person for Libra Sun. So we have the Strength here with the Page of Pentacles and the Tower. So, just give me a second here. Someone's going to try to get you back. They're going to try to like give you your just desserts. You know what I mean? It's like they seem to want to use somebody to pay you back for some sort of perceived slight here. And it's like they seem to feel that they had ownership over you at a certain point in time. They seem to be stuck in an energy of, you know, wanting to make you jealous, wanting to make you not pay so much. But it's like they just seem to want to, this may not be the actual situation, but it's the energetics of it. It's like you and this person were in a relationship. Maybe you kicked this person to the curb, or you told them off, or somehow they feel that they've been humiliated by you. And so now they're trying to come in with this other person and flaunt them in your face. Meanwhile, it's like not only do you not care, it's just more confirmation for you that you made the right decision. I know it's supposed to be new love. I'm sorry that that's what came in. I do feel that because you're already in this kind of protective energy that is I mean, this person couldn't waste their time anymore if they were trying to wash their car in the rain. Right? Just is what it is. Can we get a card for sorry, 1 second, please. Sorry about that, Libra. I guess that person was skosh impatient. I'm sitting here feeling like maybe I should pull a card for the next actual new love, and I feel like you seem to be telling me no. So I think we're going to move on to Libra Moon. So those of you with your moon in Libra, guess you have something to say. So we have the Three of Pentacles reversed with the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So you don't see a whole lot with this person, I feel. It feels like it's somebody that you wouldn't really want to get close to. I feel like it's somebody that you wouldn't trust to be a good partner. It's almost the energy of, when you get with somebody, sometimes they'll be the leader in the relationship and sometimes it'll flip and you'll be the leader, right? It just depends on what's going on and which part of your lives kind of need leadership, right? I feel like you don't see them as somebody that would be a good leader. I feel like somebody may have a foot thing. Whatever that is, it seems like you're a bit defensive towards it. But anyway, it just feels like this, like the energy coming from you is very strong that you are not interested. It's almost like a thank you, next, Beth. Like, just pull another card. We don't need to talk about this one. So, okay. Hold on. I'm just going to see if there's anything else you need to know about that one. Anything else Libra needs to know? Libra Moon needs to know about the Three of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So here's the thing. No, you're not going to want this person. You've made that, I get it. You made it abundantly clear. I do feel, though, that it seems to be a bit of a stepping stone. Not that you're using anybody as a stepping stone. I want to be really clear about that. It's more that, like, if you felt that you didn't know what you wanted in a partner, well, now you know because you experienced, it's like everything you don't want in a partner just got, somebody tried to like stuff it in front of you. It's like it's like even if you tried to turn your head, I feel like somebody kept trying to put this in front of you, like trying to move around so that you couldn't get away from it. And I feel like it feels like this person kind of invaded your space. It feels like this person, it's like they got a little too close, a little too quick. They seem to make some assumptions that like you're down to do stuff that you're not down to do. I mean, I certainly hope that, this person asked for consent. But I feel like whatever it was, they were barking up the wrong tree. Because whatever, like, you know what you want now because you got a taste of what you definitely don't want. So just one more card for Libra Moon. Hold on. Nine of Cups and Six of Pentacles here. Just a second. I feel like once you know what you want, you'll see it everywhere. For example, if ever you have been pregnant, or if you have ever bleached your hair, but if ever you've done something that it's like, you know, a large percentage of the population is not experiencing right now. It's like when you're pregnant, you see a lot of people that are pregnant. When you bleached your hair, you then started to notice all of those people that bleached their hair. And I feel like when you see what it is that you actually want, or when you know it, then you start seeing it everywhere. And I feel to a certain extent, you may not want to admit this out loud, and that's okay. I mean, it may not apply, right? But what I'm seeing here is that it may make you long for it. And it may put you in an energy where it's like you may not want to admit that that's what you want, because then it'll feel like you're longing for it. But it actually feels like if you admit to yourself that that's what you want, it feels like it kind of releases a bit of a block for you. And it's like when you allow yourself to feel the longing, or if there's a little bit of loneliness in there, it's like when you allow yourself to feel that, I feel like that's when things enter your life to, hold on. It's like in releasing that block for yourself, it's like that's when that available space now becomes available, if that makes sense. I don't feel like I said that well. For example, let's say you're in line at the grocery store or something, and they have a bunch of cashiers, and you have to wait for it to be like, please go to cashier 7. And you see cashier 7 is open, their person already paid, and they're still doing something. And you're like, okay, is it my turn? Can I go now? Are you going to stay open? You know what I mean? Maybe you would just walk over there, but it's just to illustrate the energy. Anyway, so it's like, you know what you want, you know how to get there. It just feels like there's this little bit of delay. And I feel when you allow yourself to miss something that you don't have yet, I feel like that's when you get the signal to walk over to that cashier, if that makes sense. So I hope that made sense. I apologize if it wasn't very clear, Libra. So for those of you with a Libra Rising, oh. So we have the High Priestess, but it is reversed here. So I feel like there's somebody that it's like you both seem to want each other, but no one's making a move. I feel to a certain extent, it feels almost, it's like there's a little bit of a competition vibe, but not. I'm sure that doesn't sound like anything. What I'm feeling with this card is that there's somebody here that it's like other people may feel like the two of you normally would be in competition with each other, but actually it's like you seem to be a stronghold for each other. I feel like you actually become as defensive of this person as you are of yourself, and not defensive with the negative connotation, but it's like you're willing to, you know, I don't know how to say that. I feel like there's a poetic way to say it, but I don't know what it is. I feel like you are willing to have this person's back if needed. And I feel like that's because you seem to know that that is reciprocated. It feels like it's almost like an unspoken energy between the two of you. But it does feel like there's a touch of rivalry there. It's almost like, I mean, obviously you're not going to be dating your sibling, right? But I feel like that vibe where like you love each other, there's a lot of affection there, but there's also a touch of rivalry, if that makes sense. I actually feel, Libra, this is just what I'm seeing. I feel like the reason that rivalry is there, is because I feel like this person doesn't. Sorry, Libra. I randomly looked up at my phone and the camera had just stopped. So, hurrah. Fortunately, it was only a few seconds that it had turned off. So, what the cards were saying is that you may feel like this person's competing with you, but from their perspective, they're just trying to keep up with you. Because I feel like this person sees the accomplishments that you have made. And I feel like to them, they're just trying to keep pace with you. They're not trying to outdo you. You get one more card for... Oh. Well, we have the Four of Wands. I feel like you're going to feel very desired by this person. I feel like at first, their affection or desire for you, it's almost like you may I'm not telling you that this is what you'll do. It just feels like this is possible, okay? I feel like you may discount some of their affection as almost like a nuisance, like swatting it away. And I feel like you're going to warm up to them pretty quickly. Not that, you're going at a pace that you're uncomfortable with, but I feel like you see pretty quickly that they don't have the same intention that the past did. I feel in the past, you may have had somebody that wouldn't keep their hands off you. And it's not in like a, fun, adult playtime sort of way. It was in a, you know, for the love of God, could you just stop? You know what I mean? It's like they would never leave you alone. It was always about the physical. It's like they were just always kind of on you wanting something. And I feel like you'll see that this person, it's like maybe their love language is physical touch, but this person may, I don't know how to say this. They may be affectionate to you without needing it to end in a certain type of way. You know what I mean? It's like they're there to be affectionate because they're being affectionate. They're not being affectionate because they want to get something out of you. I feel like some of you are like, prove it. And like, the proof is in the pudding, right? So for those of you with your Venus in Libra, who's the next love interest for Venus in Libra? Venus in Libra. I feel like it would be a... So the Seven of Wands, then we have the Death card. The Seven of Wands talks about feeling defensive after having had some success. And that doesn't mean necessarily that this person is in a defensive energy, but I feel like it's like despite your best efforts to be defensive towards this person, there's something about the energetics of the connection that seems to, it's like despite your best efforts, it's disarming you. And I didn't mean to say that condescendingly. If that's the way it came across, I didn't mean it that way. But it just feels like it's one of those connections where you have every intention of having certain benchmarks at certain, time frames. And I feel like you may stick to those, but it does feel that you seem to see this person as somebody really special. I feel like you seem to, hold on for a second. It feels like you actually genuinely want this person, this to work out with them. And I feel like you do seem to hold firm to some of your benchmarks. And it's not because you don't want to kind of pursue this person quicker than that, or have them pursue you quicker than that, or have the relationship progress, I feel that you have learned that it's better to take it slow and allow it to progress. Because it's like they could be the best person in the world, but if it's too quick, and there isn't enough of a foundation built when the storm comes, because storms come and go. You know that. You're not living in la la land here. So I feel like this this person could be the absolute best match for you in the world. Not saying that they are, but they could be, and you would still, not that they could be, but just hypothetically speaking, even if they were, even if someone told you, balls to bone, 150%, that's who they are, I feel like you'd be like, yeah, but I'm still gonna. And I feel like that's a wisdom that either you've gained or you've learned or whatever it is, however you have managed to acquire that. I feel for some of you, it could be that it was like knowledge that was passed along to you. For others of you, it's, the school of experience. But either way, it's like, I'm not saying this to be sacrilegious, okay? But like God himself could come down and tell you, this is the person, and you'd be like, okay, great, still need to build a foundation. You know what I mean? Because you're just not going to rush anything. And I also feel that it's almost like you giving yourself a bit of time and space to become acclimated to a new relationship. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't want to rush things, because I actually feel that you, even if it's subconsciously, if you rush things, you're going to get defensive and block them out. Because you're just not going to rush. And I feel like with the Death card here, look at this, the Seven of Swords, Ace of Swords. Yeah, man. You're just not, like, you are not dealing with toxicity for anybody or anything. Period. End of story. Can we get a clarifier here? Clarifier. Well, like, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but like, that's the tarot's way to me of saying, like, listen here, like, did I stutter? Hold on for a second. I feel like there may be times where you have to, or it's like you kind of feel like you have to fight the world to go at your own pace. For example, and I'm not saying this is the actual situation, but it's the energetics of it. It's like maybe you're, excuse me, you're a female and people expect you to get married and have children. And it's like you're getting to the age now where people are really starting to, put the screws to you on it. And I feel like you're standing here firm, like, no, you're not getting angry about it. You're not getting mad. You're not getting da-da-da-da-da. It's just a no. It's not up for discussion. It's not anyone else's decision. And I feel like, if and when your heart and your mind change towards what you want, I'm not saying that it will, and there's no pressure. I promise. I feel like if and when that happens, it'll happen in your own time. It'll be your own decision, because you're not discussing it with people. And it's not, you're trying to be a jerk about it. It's not up for discussion. It's not somebody else's decision. It's like, for example, if I wanted to go get my ears pierced or get my tongue pierced, really that's nobody else's decision but mine, right? That might be a strange example. That's just what was coming through. Anyway, and I feel like you're looking at this with that same energy. And I feel like the more you're in that energy, the more beautiful you seem to feel. And it's not even like the aesthetics of it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's here that you feel that way. And it's like, because you're choosing to love yourself above all else, it's almost like, if I could draw this card a little differently, you'd have like this pink aura or this pink cloud that just seems to kind of follow you everywhere. And it's because you're choosing yourself. So I think I'll leave it there, Libra. If this reading resonated, of course, I hope it was helpful. I hope that it brought you some clarity. And I don't know why I want to say this. I haven't said it ever, and like and the occasional laugh along the way. But anyway, it was I've heard it a few times. So anyway, I love you, Libra. I hope that this reading helped if it resonated. I do appreciate you being here, especially if you made it to the end. And I hope you have a great week. Much love. Bye.